Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of In the Kitchen with Lisa. My name is Lisa Spampinato. I am a personal chef here in Jackson, and today we're going to be going over some basic kitchen 101 stuff. I thought today maybe we'd go over what are the basic necessities to keep in your pantry that will allow you to create a quick and easy meal when you come home from work, or just to throw something quick together with your kids, something that's just going to make your life a little bit easier. So let's take a walk over to the pantry and see what I usually keep in mind. I'm back here. Okay, now I know there's a lot of stuff in this pantry, and that's because I'm a foodie, but for the most part, there's a lot of basic ingredients in here that will take me from something fancy to something really quick and easy. Some of the things that are really important to keep would be things like breadcrumbs, for putting in things like meatloaf, for coating maybe chicken or pork chops, something like that. Over here I've got some beans. I keep a variety of beans because they're a great source of protein. It's something you can throw into a soup, into a chili, mix in with a salad. You can even make a dip out of it, and it's something, again, that's relatively inexpensive, quick and easy, has a really good shelf life, so if you've got a couple of cans of beans in your pantry, you'd be in good shape. But just to kind of give you an idea of the items that you can keep on a regular basis that don't stale or perish, that will help you to get a quick meal on the table. Let's go back into the kitchen, and I'm going to talk a little bit more while I get a meal going for you. So we've gone ahead and spoken about some of the things that should go into your basic pantry, but let's talk a little bit about things that go in your basic kitchen that you should have easy access to, and also things that you should keep in your refrigerator on a regular basis. I'm going to start off by grabbing a cutting board, and one of the tricks I'm going to show you is just to put down some damp paper towels underneath my cutting board so that it doesn't slide around too much on me. And usually I keep my cutting boards right behind me. I'm fortunate that my kitchen, whoever designed it before I moved in here, set it up pretty nice. So I've got like a triangle area going. I've got my workspace, I've got my sink, and I've got my stove over there and my microwave. So I've got like a nice little triangle action going on here, which makes it really easy for me to get around my kitchen and do stuff pretty quick. So behind me are my cutting boards, and I keep them here for easy access. I'm just going to take one out for the meat right now. And there we go. And now it's not going to slide around anymore. My knives, sometimes you don't always see them up here, but when you guys aren't here filming, I keep my knives up here because it's really easy for me to just grab them and go. I also keep my really big knives in this drawer. And again, I've got some various utensils in here that are, you know, like for prepping things like the peeler and the jar opener and stuff like that, that I can just grab when I need them. So that's just something to keep in mind. Okay. Things that you should keep in your refrigerator on a regular basis would be things like garlic, fresh veggies, but I know that's not always realistic. You don't know how long they're going to keep for, but I always have onions. I usually have peppers, potatoes, garlic, things like that. Milk, juice, bread, obviously are the basic things. Different types of cheeses. If you buy the cheeses in a block, they're not going to spoil as quickly as they will if they're shredded. Meats to keep in your freezer, sausage, which is what we're going to be working with today. I've got a nice mild sweet Italian sausage that I actually sauteed up yesterday for something else, and I made some extra. Sometimes I'll freeze that and keep it in my freezer. Sometimes I'll put it in the fridge and use it up quick the next day. Also nuts. I didn't talk about keeping nuts in your fridge. You want to keep them in your fridge because they'll go rancid really quick. You can also put them in your freezer, but different kinds of nuts like pecans, almonds, pinoli nuts, pine nuts, which are these, are great to have. They add flavor, they add texture, they add crunch to lots of different quick meals. Let me put those over here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and slice up some of this pork while I'm talking here. And I'm just going to cut it on the bias, which means on an angle. Some other proteins that I keep in my fridge and freezer would be chicken, ground beef, a whole pork loin or pork tenderloin. Just because these are things that can thaw out pretty quick if I've packaged them up properly, and add them really quick to something. I can take some chicken breast, saute it up, add a few simple ingredients, and I've got chicken marsala in less than 20 minutes. I can do a pork loin and just season it with some salt, pepper, a little olive oil, a little garlic salt, throw it in the oven for an hour, and that's dinner with a couple of sides. Again, really quick and easy. So, you know, dinner doesn't have to be gourmet every night. It just needs to be well balanced and simple so you can enjoy time with your family. Usually with my veggies, when I come home from the store, I'll quick wash them so that they're ready to go when I am. And again, that's going to be a time saver for me. Okay, let me just slice up some of these peppers, and we're going to saute these in the pan later with some onions. it over that way. Let's say you didn't like peppers. That's fine, leave them out. Let's say you like peppers but you don't have fresh peppers. Use the frozen ones in the store. They come already pre-sliced for you. So all you have to do is just saute them right out of the bag. What could be quicker and easier than that? That looks like plenty of garlic to me. Let's give that a quick rough chop. And the thing that's nice about the red too is, again, it's going to give you a little bit of color. You know, we eat with our eyes first, so even though we want to make something that's quick and easy, we still want it to look nice. We want it to look appetizing and appealing. Now, I've used a whole wheat pasta over here, so it's going to be a little different texture than the regular white pasta would be. It's going to be a little bit chewier. So, you know, that's what I keep in my pantry. You use what you like. And these actually look ready, and I can tell by looking at them because when you're using the little shells, they kind of open up a little bit. And I've used a sweet, mild Italian sausage, so there's not a lot of spice and heat to this, but it's a lot of flavor. It's got some fennel seed in there. It tastes really good. All right, so these are actually ready to come out. I'm going to take the sausage coins out, and I'm going to go ahead and get our vegetables going. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my vegetables, my onions, my peppers, my garlic, and just quick saute them up. There we go. And I want to really let this almost caramelize a little bit. I want to let them get all sweet and not mushy, but I don't want them really crisp either. So let me let this go for a little bit, and then I'll season it towards the end. And then we'll mix everything together. Our peppers and onions and garlic are all nice and sauteed, and I don't know if you guys can see, a little brown there, a little caramelization action going on too. And I'm going to go ahead and season lightly with a little salt and pepper, just for a little extra flavor. But we're really not going to need much because our sausage is going to give us a lot of flavor, and so is the Parmesan cheese that we're going to add. Just a little of that. Let me turn off my stove. Mix it up really well. Okay, I'm going to come back and bring this over to the countertop here. Put it in my big old mixing bowl. Going to mix that up. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my sausage and throw that in too. And I'm going to leave all of that extra oil from the sausage because that's going to help to mix everything up. If you feel like you don't have enough in there, you can always certainly add a little bit more olive oil or some melted butter if you want. I'd probably do olive oil though. So now, so far in this mix, we've got the pasta, we've got the sausage, we've got the onions and the peppers and the garlic, and it's looking pretty colorful already. Let me put this in the sink. Then for our flavor enhancers from our pantry, you've got some pinoli nuts, which are like a nice buttery but yet still a little bit crunchy nut. The baby peas, which I'll add last because they're kind of soft. Some sun-dried tomatoes, which I'm going to add now, and these give a lot of flavor. I love these. The spoon's too big. These are packed in oil, but you can probably get some that are a little bit drier and dice them up if you didn't want all the oil that's in them. I try and not grab all the oil when I put this in. I've used this in things like meatloaf with some provolone or mozzarella cheese and put it in the middle of the meatloaf and then top the meatloaf with maybe some tomato paste for a quick meatloaf. Very flavorful, really quick and easy, and again, using things in my pantry. I'm going to put about half the jar in here. I know it's a lot, but it's good. Now before, when I was using my saute pan, it dawned on me that I didn't really speak to you guys about what kind of pans would you basically want in your kitchen. Well, you want one like the one I just used that's got some sides on it because it's a really good conductor of heat, and it's good if you're going to do some sauces or something. Also, you want a skillet for quick sauteing, which would be like a big round one, maybe a 12-inch or a 10-inch. You definitely want a couple of pots. You want a pasta pot or a stew pot. One that's aluminum and maybe one that's a little bit heavier for things like a chili that you're going to cook all day, or a pasta sauce and meatballs that you're going to cook all day. And a couple of smaller pots for things like gravy, sauce, things like that, or to quick do some small amounts of pasta, or maybe some mashed potatoes. Okay, and again, I didn't give you a quantity on this. I just kind of eyeballed it because it's to your liking. You're using what you have on hand to your tastes. Let me add some of the Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, and I always keep some grated and some blocked also in my fridge so that I don't waste it. The minute you grate this, it loses some of its flavor. So I want to have some on hand for ease, but I also want to keep it whole and then grate some more as I need it so I don't lose all the flavor in it. I need that for you. Okay. Now we're just about done with our one pot meal. And last but not least, let's add some of these baby peas. These are so nice and sweet and have a nice creamy texture when you mix them in. And again, there's that whole color thing. You've got nice contrasting colors here. I'm just going to take it right from the bowl here, you guys don't mind. Let me get a piece of that. Let me get a small piece of sausage. There's a little baby piece hiding. Nice smoky flavor from the sausage. A little salt from the Parmesan cheese. You can taste the peas in there, and it tastes really good. And it's going to make a nice, really satisfying meal in a hurry. Okay. Well, thank you all for joining me. And remember, a quick meal is only 20 minutes or so away, and just use what you've got in your pantry. Make sure you've got a well-stocked pantry, and you'll be good to go every single time. So if you'd like this recipe or any other recipe, or you'd like some helpful hints, please contact us at jtv@www.jtv.tv, or you can call at 787-8817. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time on In the Kitchen.